That ball is gone. Fernando Tatis Jr. Oh, Nando's gone yard for the first time in 2023. He's back, and he's back big.
Fernando Tatis Jr. is back, and the trio of Tatis, Manny Machado, and Juan Soto are finally playing together. Well, following the unexpected signing of Xander Bogaerts, it's now a quartet worth nearly $1 billion. It seems unlikely Soto re-signs on a long-term basis, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. Last offseason, the Padres offered Aaron Judge and Trey Turner larger contracts than the ones they signed, and they're rumored to be going after Shohei Ohtani after this season. This team's willingness to spend and accumulate long-term risk is unlike any team in the league today. However, there's questions not only concerning sustainability, but also on how to fix a struggling team when so much of the roster is signed for the long term. Really, the overall question that needs to be answered is how far are the Padres willing to go?
That ball's gone! Into the crowd zone!
It's a championship or bust, man.
Who you guys want us to face? It doesn't matter because we're still going to win it all.
Now, before we move on, I want to thank today's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Using the internet without a VPN is like stepping into the batter's box without a helmet. All it takes is one shot to hurt you. Well, with over 30 million downloads, Private Internet Access is the world's most transparent VPN provider. Private Internet Access hides your IP address and safeguards your internet connection to shield your digital life from those looking to exploit your private information. Also, Private Internet Access allows you to obtain unrestricted access to worldwide content at the push of a button. Say you live in the US and you want to watch Moneyball on Netflix. Just click on the Dutch server, refresh the page, and it's right there. Also, if you have MLB TV, you can use Private Internet Access to dodge MLB's extensive blackout policies. All you have to do is switch over to a server outside of your blacked out region, and your favorite team's games are right in front of you. With servers in all 50 US states and 84 countries, Private Internet Access can be used on all platforms, including Windows, Mac OS, Android, and iOS. Plus, only one subscription is needed to protect an unlimited number of devices at the same time. They even have a no logs policy that has been proven in court and by a third-party audit, so you can be assured your information is in safe hands. Best of all, by clicking the link in the description, you get 83% off a 2-year plan. That's just $2.03 a month, and you also get 4 extra months completely free. Plus, with a 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support, this deal is risk-free. So make sure to click the link in the description to get started with Private Internet Access today. Before the 2018 season, the Angels signed coveted Japanese free agent Shohei Ohtani. The Padres were one of 7 finalists for Ohtani's services, but according to minority owner Peter Seidler, it was only a matter of time before big players signed with the Padres. A few months later, they signed first baseman Eric Hosmer to an 8-year, $144 million deal. While this signing didn't end up working out on the field, it laid the groundwork for potential signings in the future. At least, that's according to GM AJ Preller. Preller had shown a willingness to spend, notably with his flurry of moves ahead of the 2015 season. This experiment failed, but it was the perfect starting point for a complete reset, which included spending a record $80 million on international amateur free agents in 2016. Between 2018 and 2019, the Padres had the league's #1 farm system, so it was the perfect time to make another free agent splash. In February 2019, the Padres signed Manny Machado to a 10-year, $300 million contract. This signing was made not too long after the Padres refinanced their debt, which ownership said allowed them to begin acquiring veteran talent to surround the young core. Although you can't improve your team solely through free agency, which is why the Padres have used many prospects to acquire much of their team through trades. All of this has culminated into the 3rd highest payroll of 2023. So how are they doing this? Well, let me introduce you to the Padres owner. I kind of like spending money. You can't take it with you. This is Peter Seidler. Seidler and Ron Fowler were part of an ownership group who bought the Padres in 2012. And while both of them became involved in the team's expenditures, Seidler was more willing to pursue large acquisitions. After he took over Fowler's role as majority owner in 2020, almost immediately after, the Padres traded for Darvish, Snell, and Musgrove, while also signing Tatis to a 14-year deal. Now, Seidler believes fielding a playoff caliber team every year is a sustainable business model. But others question this, which is fair considering the Padres lost money in 2022 and they're projected to do the same in 2023. Still, they've taken advantage of being the only major sports team in San Diego, as attendance, merch sales, and sponsorship revenue has all gone up. However, this plan isn't without its risks. There's definitely a scenario where all of these long-term commitments hinder the team's ability to address an underperforming team. But at the same time, as Seidler once said, there's also a risk in doing nothing. And we've chosen to really focus on the players, and what spawned out of that is this amazing relationship between our players and our fans. This flourishing relationship is one reason why investor Christopher Zook isn't worried about the Padres' plan. Like Seidler, Zook owns an investment firm called Kaz Investments. This firm is a big shareholder in Arcto Sports Partners, which owns minority stakes in 6 MLB teams. The sole focus of these private firms is to make money, and given they're only allowed to own up to 15% of a team, they need to fully trust the business models of their investments. Zook knows the Padres are losing money, but it doesn't bother him as long as that capital is being invested in something that is going to increase long-term value. So far, the valuation of the franchise has more than doubled what it sold for back in 2012. But according to Padres CEO Eric Grupner, the ultimate validation is winning a championship. And to have the chance to do that year in and year out, there needs to be a plan in place. As the team is still learning the thresholds of their revenue growth, internal player development becomes crucial for long-term success. For example, the Dodgers and Rays currently have 2 of the league's best farm systems, and they've been perennial contenders for a while now. The Padres have some work to do, but this front office has built an elite farm system before. For example, they just signed 16-year-old international amateur catcher Ethan Salas, who's now the youngest player in MLB's top 100 prospects list. Also, taking a look at Fangraph's International Prospects Board, they rank only 5 players with a future value grade of at least 50 on the 20 to 80 scale. 4 of them are pro players from Asia who could succeed in MLB today. The other player is Leodalis De Vries, a 16-year-old Dominican shortstop who's expected to sign with the Padres next year. Now, prospects are far from a sure thing, but clearly a framework for long-term success is being developed. Although, in order to allow this farm system to become elite again, the trading of prospects needs to be kept to a minimum. Unfortunately, the start of the season hasn't really helped this plan. There hasn't been any trades made, but if the Padres keep going like this, there might have to be. Sure, some injuries have tested the pitching depth, but overall, this has been a below-average pitching staff. Now, Darvish has been solid, and Musgrove missed a few starts due to injury, so his sample size is even lower. But Blake Snell is a different story. The conundrum with Snell is that even if he allows only a couple earned runs, there's a decent chance he won't qualify for a quality start. In 2022, around 80% of Darvish, Musgrove, and Snell's starts resulted in 3 or less earned runs, which is one requirement for a quality start. The other requirement is at least 6 innings pitched, which makes a massive difference. Overall, Snell has a combination of elite stuff and control issues, but so far this season, the control has been even worse. Although Snell is historically a better pitcher in the second half of the season, so we're just going to have to wait to see what happens. Fortunately, some of the pitching inconsistencies are mitigated by the defense, which has factored into limiting how many runs this team allows per game. However, the team's expected record, which is based on how many runs a team scores and allows, reveals the most apparent issue: the offense. As a team, they rank towards the bottom in average, OPS, and OPS+. I mean, it's great they walk a lot, but they have one of the league's worst OPSs with runners in scoring position. Going a bit deeper, this team has an above-average barrel rate, likely due to their increase in fly balls. but they're likely not going anywhere with their low hard hit rate and abysmal line drive rate. In fact, if the season ended today, this would be the worst line drive rate of the StatCast era. Although the first game in Mexico City helped a lot of these players' stats, and perhaps that series will serve as a starting point for an offensive turnaround. But that doesn't change the fact that many of these guys have not been playing to their full potential, most notably Machado and Soto. Now, with Manny Machado, he's just flat out not hitting well. His average exit velocity, hard hit rate, and walk rate are all down. But most notably, he's gone from having a career-high line drive rate in 2022 to a career low to start 2023. Still, he's had slumps with the Padres before, and he's not the only star to have started the season in this fashion. Although, with Soto, it's a bit different. While he continues to get on base, his bat-to-ball skills just haven't translated from DC. MLB Network analyst Sean Casey highlighted 3 problems with Soto right now: tension, fear of failure, and results over process. The combination of passivity and anxiety in the batter's box is the worst position to be in. According to Casey, this combination is shown when a batter is pulling the ball more than usual, which signifies they're out in front of pitches. Soto thrives on being one of the best opposite field hitters in baseball, and he's simply not done that with the Padres. In fact, an even bigger issue is the incredibly low line drive rate, which is really just a continuation from a career low last season. Now, Soto is absolutely aware of these issues and understands the mechanical flaws he needs to fix. Although, it's not an easy fix, and as Casey points out, Soto may be rushing the process. Currently, he has career lows in different types of swing rates, contact rates, and the most glaring of all, his strikeout rate. Overall, he just seems uncomfortable at the plate. It could be due to the pitch clock, mentally dealing with the high expectations, or maybe the oblique strain after the WBC altered how he prepared for the season. Whatever it is, I believe he'll figure it out. Remember, he's still only 24 years old and has barely played 80 regular season games for the Padres. In fact, his OPS plus with the Padres is better than what Machado produced in his first full Padres season. The first game of the Mexico City series certainly helped this offense click, but overall, an offensive turnaround is going to require patience. It's easy to become reactionary to every little thing. Like I said earlier, imagine a scenario where the Padres are underperforming mid-season, but their commitment to so many players not only harms their ability to improve the big league roster, but ruins their plan of building the farm system back up. However, that's just one outcome in the spectrum of scenarios. This team could start clicking sooner than you think and go on to conquer the rest of the league. Ultimately, slumps are a common occurrence, and the Padres are dealing with one at the beginning of a season with the most expectations in team history. But these expectations came to be because of Seidler's desire for a championship. There's no way to know how high the front office is willing to go in terms of payroll, but what we do know is some level of success is necessary to sustain this level of spending. It's impossible to know where this experiment will end up, but it's energized a fan base in a way that hasn't been seen in San Diego sports in a long time. So for now, it's best to just sit back and enjoy the ride. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching.